Good morning, everyone, and happy Fitness Friday. My name is Emily, and I am one of your 2 U.S. MyZone Master Trainers. I'm here solo this morning, but I am so excited to bring you some of the latest research findings on weight loss. If you remember, April is weight loss month here at MyZone, and so I wanted to put together some cool, interesting findings that are pretty recent and I think relevant to MyZone users. For those of you who are starting to tune in, I can see a few of you are already here. Please do comment and let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from, and if you've already worked out this morning, I would love to know about it. Awesome. Okay, before we hop into today's topic, please do learn more about MyZone. If you don't already know, there's so much cool stuff going on with MyZone all the time. And of course, you can learn more at myzone.org. You can also go to MyZone on Facebook, where we're doing this live right now. You can also go to MyZone on YouTube. We've housed all of our previous videos on the YouTube channel, so check it out there. And you can learn more about MyZone all over social media, Instagram, Twitter, all over. Hey, Coach B. Hi, Sue. Just got home from your workout. Love it. Ross, awesome. One session with a client, working out later today. Me too. Melissa, awesome. Good morning. Okay, folks. So let's dive right in, and please do, as you're hopping in, let me know so I can give you a little shout out. So I went through several recent research articles that I found to be very interesting and I think very applicable to the MyZone community. So here's the first research study. This one was about your eating speed and weight. So the research study itself was named The Effects of Changes in Eating Speed on Obesity in Patients with Diabetes. So they were specifically looking at patients with diabetes. This was in the BMJ Open in February 2018, and they examined the eating speed of participants of the study in relation to their BMI and waist circumference. What do you think they found? Eating speed. Would it affect their BMI and waist circumference? It did. All right, so eating slower inhibited development of obesity in these individuals. Slower eaters also had reduced BMI and waist circumference. So the takeaway, of course, this is one research study, but if we look over time and start to see a trend, a takeaway might be that eating a little bit slower can aid in keeping our BMI and waist circumference down. Definitely a tip I need to take because I'm not a slow eater. Anyway, all right, moving on to the next one. And hi, Sylvia, thank you for joining me. The next research article was looking at living close to a gym. Now this one I think is really interesting. Hi, Camilla. Hi, Camilla. Living close to a gym. So it was called The Associations Between Fast Food and Physical Activity Environments and Adiposity in Midlife. And so this is actually a UK study. It was published in The Lancet in December 2017. So they basically examined the density of fitness facilities and the proximity of individuals to fast food outlets. And they were looking at how that proximity and the density was associated with waist circumference, BMI, body mass index, and body fat percentage. Do you think that they were related? My friends, yes, they were. This is so interesting. So the greater density of physical activity facilities within 1,000 meters of an individual's home was independently associated with a smaller waist circumference and lower BMI and lower body fat percentage. So what does this tell us? The more access that we have to physical fitness facilities, typically we see better results. We see that folks are a little bit lower in terms of their body fat, BMI, and waist circumference. So interesting. Now, there was an association, although it was a very small association, so it was a little bit weaker in terms of if you live further from fast food, you had a weaker association with waist circumference and BMI. So hypothetically, you could live further from fast food companies or fast food restaurants, and they saw that folks did have a lower BMI and waist circumference. However, that wasn't as strong of a correlation. So the takeaway I think for MyZone users is, one, if you're living in an area that has a lot of fitness facilities, awesome. Make sure that if you don't already belong to a fitness facility that has MyZone, that you do. And another MyZone life hack that I want to share with you is that you can always use the new MyZone Zone Match feature in your MyZone app. So cool. So that even if you can't get to a gym that day, you can still participate in physical activity. So do keep that in mind. Okay, the third research study was looking at social communities and how they aid in weight loss. You guys are part of the MyZone community, so this one is big for us. Okay, this one was called Weight Loss Through Virtual Support Communities, a Role for Identity-Based Motivation in Public Commitment. It was published in the Journal of Interactive Marketing in November 2017. And they were looking at how virtual support communities impacted your goal achievement, specifically weight loss. So they found that making a public commitment to goals aids in achieving them. If we say outright what our goals are and we do it on a public platform, we tend to achieve our goals more than if we just kept them to ourselves. They followed 2 weight loss groups over the course of 4 years. When people seeking weight loss joined a virtual community, other people came along for the ride, and that support facilitated adherence. So other people are, when they know about your goals, they're cheering you on, they're supporting you, they're checking in. How's that going? How are you doing? And that can aid in our weight loss goals. These virtual support communities offer relative anonymity, right? So it's not like they know exactly who you are or exactly your whole life story, but they know of you, they know who you are to some extent, just like we do on the MyZone app Social Connections. I recognize a lot of the names I see today, but I don't necessarily know you very well. So there is still some anonymity, some privacy in that way. It also offers accessibility because it's so easy for us to communicate with each other through virtual communities. It offers availability, again, it's very easy to communicate, and it offers flexibility in how we offer support and how we share our message. So the key takeaway from my perspective for MyZone communities is that we're here for each other, and this has been proven to aid in our achievement of goals. What that means for us guys is that we've got to be making social connections with each other. We've got to be sharing our story so that we can help each other and support each other in our goals. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's something else related to your health and fitness, please use the MyZone community to help you, to motivate you, and to support you. Okay, the fourth and final research study, this one I loved. It was looking at your BMI and your body fat. And it's not necessarily a research study, it was more of a summary of research, and then they were drawing some conclusions. But this one was titled Over Fat and Under Fat, New Terms and Definitions Long Overdue. If you want to check this out, guys, I really recommend it. I loved reading through this, and I'm only touching on just a brief summary, so this one is one I'd recommend going back and looking at. It was published in the Frontiers in Public Health in 2016. Not quite as recent as the other ones that I had mentioned, but I found it because I was looking through current research. So anyway, they summarized the research on body fat, BMI, and health risks of these different things. So what I found really interesting was that they were proposing that we begin to use terms over fat and under fat instead of overweight or underweight. And the reason is they were talking about how excess adipose tissue or fat has a bigger impact on chronic illness later in life than being overweight. Being overweight or having a higher BMI doesn't account for our body composition. And so it is that excess of fat that really does make an impact on our health in the long run. A couple other things to note here. The reason behind that is that you could have an average BMI, a normal BMI, right? Because, you could have an average BMI because your height and weight end up like that. But you could, even though your BMI is normal, be over fat, have an excess of fat accumulating in various parts of your body. On the flip side of that, and I've seen this many times in very athletic communities, you could have a very high BMI or an above average BMI and be considered obese. Yet the reason why your BMI is high is because you have so much muscle. So something to be thinking about is, looking at these terms and really understanding, how do I fall into this? Is my weight normal? Is my BMI normal? Is my body fat normal? And research tends to show us that having a higher body fat is more dangerous to our health in the long run than having a higher BMI or a higher body weight. So definitely some things to be thinking about. If you have access to get your body composition analyzed with something like an InBody, definitely do so. I recommend it. Cool. Okay, I see a few questions. Andrew, any news on MyZone 3.0? Stay tuned, my friend, it's coming. Melissa, good point, thank you. Yeah, I think this is so important, and I'll tell you guys, my BMI is a little bit higher than I would have guessed, but I also have more muscle than I previously did, so. Michelle Martin, hi Michelle, thanks for joining me. Okay guys, so those are the 4 research studies I found so interesting and very relevant to us as MyZone users and part of the MyZone community. If you would like to learn more about MyZone, please check out myzone.org and MyZone all over social media. Hi Marcin, thanks for joining. We would love to hear what you think, so please comment in the comment section below. And I have an important announcement. Next week we're changing things up a little bit. So Fitness Friday, you've seen us do workout demos, you've seen us do full workouts, you've seen us stand and tell you some interesting facts. Next week, we're changing it a little bit. We're doing a workout with you. So here's what I want you to do. Tie up your tennis shoes, get some weights ready, because next week we're gonna do the mini Blipinator in the MyZone Zone Match feature of your app. It's a 15-minute workout, and I'd love for you guys to not only watch, but actually to follow along. So I'll be here sweating it out, and we'll do it together. Cool. All right, thanks so much, and thank you, Melissa. I really appreciate that. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week. We're here every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Have a wonderful weekend and keep moving forward. See you then. Don't forget, we're going to work out together. It's going to be awesome. Bye.